There are 20 tricky words in step 3. Not only should the children be able to read them, they should also learn how to write and spell them correctly. And a good way to do this is to look carefully at the word, and I've identified the awkward bit, cover it up, write it, and then check the spelling. Then hide it again and write it again. So here we have the word I. Well, you have to think capital letter. Hide it, capital letter I. Have a look. Right, okay, capital letter I. Have a look, yeah, and so on. The, and the tricky bit is that E. And the tricky bit. Oh, that's right. Do it again. The tricky bit. Eh. That's it. And the tricky bit. Eh. The tricky word spelling sheets can be downloaded in the usual way at the end of this section or from the resources section on the home page. Now, before the children are ready to start reading sentences, they need to learn about capital letters. Now, some capital letters are a similar shape, but are just larger than the lowercase, like these. K, O, P, S, A, V, X, W, Z. These are easy for the children to recognise. The others have different shapes, and the sounds for them should be taught. The children need to understand that the capital letters have the same sounds, even though they may look different. So here they've got to learn that this is an A, B, D, E, F, G, H. Now, with the knowledge of 20 tricky words and the sounds linked to the capital letters, the children are ready to read sentences. These sentences only use letter sounds and tricky words that have been taught. Some of these sentences are question sentences, which encourages a response from the children and are frequently humorous too. Let's look at this one. Can a fish sing a song? Can a fish sing a song? Can a fish sing a song? And they usually find a little chuckle about that. Here we've got 2 tricky words, are and you, so they should know those. Are you rich? Are you rich? And they find that funny too. The other sentences are ordinary sentences that provide more practice, which is always necessary in the teaching. So here we've got, our boat is floating on the pond. So the children just work it out. Now these sentences could be put on a table and read by the children individually, or the children could read it to each other in pairs, or they could even be written on the board in the classroom for all the children to try and read. For example here, can a cat do, tricky word, sums? Can a cat do sums? Of course, that's a bit of a joke. There are some, that's 3 tricky words, there are some sweets left in the jar. There are some sweets left in the jar. There are many ways of presenting the same thing, which brings variety and interest to the teaching. We know the sounds of the capital letters need to be known for reading sentences, but that also applies to writing sentences. The children have to learn how to form the capital letters correctly, as well as to write them neatly. This sheet provides the necessary practice. Once these are known, then sentences can be dictated for the children to write. Now, the teacher might dictate, he slept in a tent. Now the child's got to think, oh yes, he, I must do a capital here. It's a tricky word, and the tricky bit, he, then leave a space, slept. Slept. He slept, leave a space, in, I, and a n, in a tent, tent, and tent, and must put a full stop at the end. He slept in a tent. Now, dictating sentences like this develops the skill of writing, as well as giving the children an understanding of what a sentence is, that it should have a capital letter at the beginning, a full stop at the end, and should make sense. Now, suitable sentences for dictation have been provided in the usual way at the end of this section and in the resources section on the home page. At this stage, the children who are confident at working out words and reading sentences are now ready to be given the first level reading books to take home and read to their parents or guardians. It is important that these books should be decodable. That means that the words in the books only use the letter sounds and a few tricky words that have already been taught. These are the first level reading books in Jolly Phonics, and you can see the foundation skills that are needed by opening the first page. Here are the letter sounds that need to be known, and of course the children need to be able to blend words that use those letter sounds, and then we have the tricky words. And at the end we have a bit about comprehension as well. So the children have been taught how to read these books. When the children have these skills and can read the names of the main characters, Inky, Snake and Bee, then they're able to read the books with confidence and enjoyment. There are other decodable readers available, such as these, and more information about these books have been provided on the home page under the heading Decodable Readers. It is recommended that decodable readers are used until a child knows the letter sounds taught in steps 1 to 5, is fluent and confident at reading, and automatically uses blending to work out any unknown words. By this time, the children have the ability to read any books that are suitable for their age and within their understanding. They have cracked the code and are now free readers. After that, it is a matter of encouraging the children to read as much as possible by joining libraries and book clubs, swapping books, talking about their favourite books and so on.